Not really.
All right, so we're at Gooch Gap. Got a late start this morning. Didn't even video while we were at the campsite. We were kind of just milling around. I was getting water and trying to eat some stuff, and our stomachs were a little unsettled, so we were kind of trying to play it safe and decide, you know, if something bad does hit, you know, if we got the stomach bug or something like that, it's probably better to stay at the shelter where we had water really close. Good water, man. That water was really good, really cold. It's a pipe spring there, so water was, man, crystal coming out of that thing. It was great. So we hung out there till pretty late. Talked to everybody that was there. Mostly there was a couple people that didn't want to be social, which, you know, hey, that's your deal. It's fine. So we hung out, talked for a very long time. Finally got going when some other guys we had stayed at Stover with showed up, and they had been running since 7 this morning, and they got over here, and it was probably, it might have been 11. We were pretty late. So we filled all our water up, and we were going. Met a couple that live right off the trail. Shortly thereafter, I got popped in the leg by, we think maybe yellow jacket, not sure. But it's not really swollen. It's pretty sore. And when the sweat gets in it, it feels quite nice. But one of the guys behind us had some Benadryl, so he let me borrow. I took one just to make sure that hopefully it doesn't get too swollen or anything. So, like I said, it's a little sore right now, and I just had a fly on it. But other than that, it's pretty good. So we're gonna get going here in a few minutes, and we'll catch up in a little bit. All right, so we are at Woody Gap, as you can see, etched in the rock here. A lot of traffic up here. There's been a lot of cars, a lot of motorcycles. We are about to head back out the other side. Went and hit the bathroom, which we assumed was going to be a water bathroom. Imagine that, but it's actually just a fancy Rebruvy. So I've got about 1.5 liters. I'm not sure how much she has right now, but we're gonna try and make it to Lance Creek because we have heard that water is good there, so we're gonna definitely fill up when we get to Lance. So been good this morning. We've knocked out 5 miles pretty quick, so we're gonna see. The plan still what is it, Woods Hole or Woody Gap. I don't remember which one the shelter is. It's Woody. So we're heading that way. We'll see how it is from there and see whether or not we're going to go ahead and move, you know, forward some more and go past there to get closer. Maybe stay up at the top of Blood Mountain. It's just really going to depend on what time it is and how we're feeling. So. Well, here we are. We're at Preaching Rock. Had a nice little climb out of Woody Gap. The sermon today is beautiful. I tell you what, we passed several people on our way up, and they kept telling us, "Oh, the view's worth it when you get up there. The view's worth it when you get up there." And when you're walking up with your pack, you're thinking, "I don't care what the view looks like. It's not gonna be worth it." But let me tell you, this is it, man. Nice and clear. The breeze started picking up when we were on our way up, so that was great, great, great. All right, so
little update. I forgot to update last night when we got here. We're enjoying some camaraderie. Ran back into a guy we've been kind of going back and forth with. We generally stayed at the same shelters at night. So he had a couple guys with him originally, and 3 of them have dropped back. I don't know if they were actually with them or if they just knew him. But his buddy that was with him, he had to drop out. He forgot his blood pressure medicine, so he got picked up yesterday. I may have mentioned it at Woody. So we made it to he dropped out at Woody Gap. We're at Woods Hole Shelter. We had thought about trying to tackle Blood Mountain last night and stay at the shelter there. Plus we were thinking, well man, if we could really book it, we could maybe see the sunset and get to catch the sunrise up there. But by the time we got here to Woods Hole, and when I actually looked at the profile, I didn't realize before that we actually dropped. You drop down to then go up Blood Mountain, and it looks like it's a pretty nice climb. We've heard it switchbacked, but we were feeling nowhere near as bad as as wore out as the day before. But the hike was starting to take a toll, especially my feet were killing me. So we decided, us and Chris, that we were going to come in to here, and there's supposed to be water about halfway up on the way in. So we came in, and sure enough, the water source was completely dry. So no water. So we're kind of rationing what we have since we got to get up and over Blood Mountain this morning. We do have a potential right up the trail. I think it's about 6/10 of a mile from here. There's supposed to be a creek and a campsite. And we had thought about maybe continuing on there, but since we knew, or we thought we remembered there being bear activity at this shelter, since we had cables here, we thought it'd be better to just stop here. That way we could hang all our stuff. So we came in here, hung out, had a little fire, sat around and chatted till probably about 9:30, and then we all decided we were gonna hit the sack. I didn't sleep real great last night. I kept waking up off and on. As you can't see from here, but our tent is actually up under the shelter in the gravel area in the front of it. Chris and the other 2 guys are actually laying on the shelter floor in there sleeping, and we were originally going to be down here where I'm actually standing, over here by this fire pit, and it was a nice little flat spot right here. But we kept hearing a lot of what sounded like large animal activity in several areas around us last night. So before it got too dark, we decided we were all going to be in the shelter, because I think Chris was going to do his bivvy, and he decided that was probably not the best bet. We'd probably be better off if we were all concentrated in one area in case something did happen. So fortunately nothing happened. It may have just been deer, it may not have been bear. We just, we had our lights, we had some powerful lights, and we were trying to see if we could even, catch eyes or anything, and we just couldn't see anything when we were here in movement last night. So it's just the way it drops down from this shelter. It gets pretty deep from here, so you can't really see all that great down, especially with all the underbrush. So like I said, we're gonna head out this morning. The sun has almost broke over through here. If you can see through the trees, it's almost broke over, and then you can see that little dark higher spot. That is the top of Blood Mountain over there. That's where we will be going up and over today to drop down into Neal's. So maybe get a little resupply and see if we remember what it's like to be in the real world for a couple hours. So check in later. Well, here we are at Blood Mountain Shelter. That was not as bad as Sassafras. The GATC did a good job switching back in that. That was not that bad a climb. The water source at the bottom, we were able to get water at Slaughter Creek, but it was not a creek in the sense of the other creeks we've passed. It was a pretty small trickle. Luckily there was a little pool that we were collecting into before we filtered, like it was flowing fresh and flowing out. Somebody did leave a life straw there in case for somebody that didn't have a way to filter
So that was nice. We were able to get, I tried to just dip the bag, the dirty bag, but I was only getting about a liter at a time. So Chris had a small 1 liter Nalgene, so we were using that to refill the bag to capacity and then filter out of that. This is one side. Walk over here, here's the shelter. This is the only, if I remember right, the only 4-sided shelter on this part of the AT. This is the highest point in the Georgia AT. You see over here, it looks like Barefoot Hiker Man signed his name over there on the wall. This is the inside-y side. Looks like some bird nests in here. I was trying to remember if this one had a loft or not, but this is the Blood Mountain shelter. So there's open windows, so this is where, if you guys watched Craig M or any of those guys, this is where they almost got stuck. So we're up at 4,461 feet of elevation. Somebody left their nice empty water bottle over here. There's the register. We've been slacking on signing registers. We haven't signed since Hawk Mountain, maybe. Slackers on there. See what there is to see over here. Ooh, there's a nice little drop down there too. Ooh, looky. So here's the view for today. All right, we're gonna head on down to Neal's Gap and get some normal people refreshment, and I think we're going to chill there for a little bit before we head back out to the next shelter. We're only going to try and make about 10 or 11 miles today. And then we should be able to cruise at about that speed. So, catch you up in a little while. Well, we made it to Neal's Gap. As you can see, the tree of shame. You quit here, it's where you hang your shoes. Man, coming down is pretty rough. That wasn't terrible, I mean, but we found out I lost my sunglasses. I think they dropped at Slaughter when I hung my pack up to filter, and then we realized coming down Blood Mountain, we were talking to a guy on the Saws crew, that we lost our outset that we've been using for to keep all our food in to keep the rodents out. So that is somewhere we think it fell off at Blood Mountain, because the carabiner we were using to clip it onto Amanda's pack, Stumbelina, on her pack, it came apart this morning. So I thought she clipped it on the other carabiner. I didn't realize that she stuffed it in the side pouch, and apparently we lost it somewhere along the way. So the Saws guy said he'd look for it and try and get it to us. So we may check and see what they got here at the outfitter. But we're gonna get a cold beverage and maybe eat some lunch. It's a little after 12 or so we're gonna hang out a little bit and then head back out. I think I'm probably gonna sit here for a little while though, just to enjoy the break, and then we've only got trying to remember, we're gonna look and see how far we're gonna go to wherever we're gonna stop next. So